As you
You, random stranger, is there a doctor nearby?
as you walk into the marketplace, there's quite a few people who are kind of staring at you. But Pollock's a well-known person, and they're wondering if you brought harm to her in any way.
Yes, that's why we're carrying her into town, looking half beat up ourselves.
And someone approaches you and says, "What's happened to Pollock?"
She's gravely ill. We need a healer. We need a doctor,
A priest, I think.
a
would be
priest or a
best.
cleric.
Well, you best go to the temple then.
Yeah, whereabouts
Which way to
is
the
that?
temple?
The temple? Oh, it's just above the Mall Badger.
Ah,
He
yeah.
points you to it. You know, obviously it's quite close to a pub, as temples normally are. You don't seem to know too much more about him, but yeah, straight ahead of you, you see a set of stairs going downwards beyond the altar.
I'd like to call out, "Hello, any cleric, priest?"
And you hear a voice coming back. "Hello, who's that?" We're not open for services now, but feel free if you want to have a pray or worship the god.
We need healing. Someone's going to die without your help.
I'm going to die? Well, come down. And he calls you downstairs. Oh no, what's happened here to Miss Pollock?
She's been infected by a slad.
Been infected by a slad?
Yes, and she needs you to cure diseases on her right now.
Well, how do you know it was a slad? I mean, I wasn't even aware that they were around here.
That doesn't matter. What matters is that you're the only person right now in this room who can help her.
Yeah, the cleric we had with us, he died.
He died?
Oh, yep. It was the fire elemental, right? Giant made of fire.
Yes, thoroughly cooked, as I recall.
I really thought this place was very safe. Let me have a look at her wounds. Oh, that is bad. You don't happen to know what colour slad it was, do you?
It looked like a red slad.
Oh dear, we haven't got much time then. I'll have to consult my books. Can you help me and bring her up to the top here, and I'll get her comfortable.
Yeah.
Yeah, sure. And well, yeah, you better check your books because that will be the last one.
Is there anything else we wanted to do? So yeah, I think we stay.
She carries on kind of groaning on the floor. You can see, as you kind of look at her fingertips, you can see it's starting to appear sort of cuts on the end of her fingers, as if something's sort of trying to grow through her fingers. It's looks incredibly painful for her, but at the moment she's not really changing too much. She's just looking very, very uncomfortable. I'm going to treat her as if it was if it was a red slad, because...
Well, the thing that we saw, pricking her was red, so yeah.
Oh, that's a good indication then. Okay, I'm going to start performing some rites, and he starts performing something called a wish spell over her, with lots of incantations, and he pulls out some candles, and there's sort of lots of joss sticks around her and stuff like that. And this goes on for about an hour while you're kind of just sat there watching. Rest, yeah. Eventually he goes, "Now, she'll be exhausted from the procedure, but if it has worked, it should have cleared the phage away from her. Unfortunately, we're not going to know until... If it hasn't worked, we'll find out about it quite soon."
How soon? A day? A week?
It really depends
5 minutes?
Well, from what my books say, it depends on the constitution of the person. It can be as quick as 24 hours that they take their full transformation, but during that time they will transform slowly into a blue slad. So it really depends on the constitution. Now I know that Polak there was a fighter, so we could have a little bit more time, but I think we're going to be able to see very quickly if it hasn't worked. Can you roll for your healing potion, please?
Yep, absolutely.
You know what? I also have one hit die left. I'll use that one as well.
Hmm.
And have at least some more health just in case we are about to fight something.
So I'll. There we go. Seems to have an effect.
Oh, and it's a
I
short
think she's
rest,
cured.
so
Yeah, she kind of starts to wake up slightly. She's still incredibly sort of tired from the procedure, but she kind of looks at you. The, the cleric sort of notices this straight away and says, "Okay, if she hadn't been cured by this, there's no way that any kind of potions would work on her. I think we can safely say that she's been cured." "Oh, Miss Pollack, you found her. Is she okay?"
She will.
well,
She's fine now, but she'll be better. Can we take her back to her room and lay her down?
"Yeah,
mhm.
absolutely. Follow me." And she takes you outside the smithy into one of the houses on the street, and she opens the door and says, "This is her bedroom. I'm going to stay with her tonight. What happened to her?"
Don't know
Stab in the
why she was
back,
down
let's
there,
say.
but she got infected by a slab.
"By a what now?"
A
Being of
toadman.
chaos.
"And she's all right now?"
Well,
She's
she's
been
not a
cured,
toad,
but
so yes.
yeah.
Or an exploded corpse, so yeah, she's fine.
"Okay, and is she going to be in any further danger? Is there anything I need to do?"
Well, if she does explode, run.
A constitution save, in fact.
Of course.
Okay, so yeah, on an empty stomach so far, your rat hasn't come, and with all what's happened of a day, you can feel the alcohol sort of seeping through you with your second glass of quaffing size ale. You're feeling not completely drunk, but a little bit unsteady on your feet just at the moment.
Oh, and we say oh, we say.
Yeah, a huge array of some drinks for you, and they say, "Hey, by the way, if you're ever wanting something a little bit stronger, then I've heard that certain people," and he taps his nose, "could get hold of some Tabaxian pine wood spirits but you better keep it under your hat, eh?" he says to Ilian.
What the? I am proficient in Constitution saves.
Yeah, pity you didn't have any advantage, but yeah, you're kind of getting drunker by the second right now. At the moment, you're having
We
trouble.
return to a scene of Ilan holding back his hair as he vomits into the hole.
"Oh, you're back. Miss Pollock's awake. She's very tired, but she'll be glad to see you. Come on up." And takes you upstairs to the bed. You see, yeah, it's quite a modest sort of house. Kind of what you'd expect, really, from our sort of quite an ornate-looking bed, but nothing particularly rich or anything like that. And she sat up having what looks like a cup of tea in bed, and she goes, "Oh, so it was you that saved me. Oh, thank you so much. How can I repay you?"
Well, priest had
We'll
a hand
get to
in as
that.
well, so.
We'll get to that. First, how are you doing, Polak?
"Oh, I'm feeling a
Yeah.
lot better. I don't really remember too much about yesterday. I don't remember even seeing you guys, really. It was all a bit of a blur. This Spenicus guy, I thought I could
What was
trust
his
him,
name?
but Spenicus.
Spenicus. Do I know anything about that name?
Roll an insight check. No, you don't know anything about that name.
Anyways, Spenicus.
That was what he told me his name was, yeah. He was very, very interested in the forge and the research I'd done into it. He didn't really tell me why, but he was a little bit too insistent, so I didn't want to tell him too much, but then before I knew it, he'd come with a bunch of bandits and things, and it made me show him where the entrance is, and when he took me down there, I could tell there was something not right with him. There was this other thing as well. I've never seen one, whatever this thing was before. It was this kind of red sort of frog-like creature. I've no idea what it was.
We saw it.
Slab.
We saw it.
It was
Well,
it was a what?
A slad,
I've never heard of them.
right? You were never meant to, really. They're born out of chaos in the chaos realm, but I guess they found a way in, and it was with Spenicus.
Yeah, Spenicus seemed to have some kind of control over the thing. It had-
didn't you? Yeah, turn off the right. Didn't you tell me that some of those things can look human?
Yes, they can look like humans.
Well, and maybe Spinnacus is one, and you know that's why the other Toad Man was listening to it.
Could be. Could be. So why were you down there in the first place, Polak?
Well, I was doing research because nobody's ever found the Great Forge before, and I was very close. I suppose I was just a bit excited, and when he came talking about things that I already knew, I thought he was some kind of expert in it, so I told him probably too much, a bit more about it than I should have done. But yeah, it's an old legend within my culture about the forge, and I just really wanted to have a look at it, and it's a great archaeological importance, but you know, I thought the stories about the Great Forge and being able to reignite it were just made up, really, you know, just legend. I thought what we'd find down there was just dusty old relics, but there seemed to be a lot more down there, a lot more than I bargained for.
Mm-hmm.
And
Yeah, there was a giant made of fire who cooked one of us. So
that thing I do remember. Once he had awoken the Great Forge, he forced me to do it. I had this red thing with his claws at my throat, and he forced me to tell him the incantations. And I think we were lucky. Did anything else come out of the forge? Because apparently, as legend goes, it had a link to the fire plane and could conjure all sorts of fire creatures.
no, we you know put it out again. You managed to tell us how to do that.
Shows how much I remember.
Liveries?
Well, not normally, but for you guys, you saved my life. So I mean, I'll work on it as quickly as I can, and yeah, I'll find some way to get it to you. Whereabouts can I reach you in the city?
Torex Adventuring Agency. I work for him.
Thorak?
Yep,
Grum Thorak?
the very same.
You know, he's from here. Everybody knows Grum.
I didn't actually know that.
I always thought he was a bit above himself personally. You know, most people stay around here, but no, he wanted to go off and find the adventure in the big city. But yeah, he's from around here originally.
Well, he's a decent employer, so
Well, good. We'll send him my wishes, will you?
I will. I'm pretty sure. I'm sure he'll be relieved to hear that you're not dead.
Well, so am I.
Yeah, I laugh with her.
While you're at it,
Mm-hmm.
could you resize this breastplate? It is also just a little too big for me to move comfortably. Just a little trim would be great.
She has a look at it. It shouldn't be a problem. Of course. Well, I've got a debt to repay to you people, so yes, of course I will. I'll send it along at the same time in some kind of courier to I'll send it care of Grum then. What did you say your names were? I'll make sure that he knows it's for you.
Brecht Zonda.
Brecht Zonder,
Rallenbeck.
Rallenbeck. Okay, I won't forget that. Names of the people who saved me. I'll do it as soon as I can.
Oh, no
Well,
rush,
don't
no
push
rush.
yourself.
I'm
Yeah.
yeah.
Don't push yourself.
I'm sure it'll get there when it gets there, right?
Is there anything else we need to be worried about this Spenicus character? I mean, how did you put out the Great Forge then?
There was some writing on the 4 anvils.
It was yes. Apparently, by legend, there should be a way to permanently close it from some very ancient dwarf language.
Yeah, it wasn't easy to read.
No, I would imagine it wouldn't be. It's generally only scholars who can really read that. I hope you. Well, no, I don't want to question you, but I hope you managed to do it correctly because.
Yeah, well, the fire went out, and it didn't implode or anything. So.
Well, that's really good. Then, unless he finds some way that I'm unaware of, then he shouldn't be able to rekindle it. And I certainly will be a bit more wary of anybody around the place. I'm going to talk to some of my friends in the city and keep a watch out for this Spennicus character.
Right. That wouldn't be a bad idea.
Oh, well, we still have some work left for Torek, so we'll get on that now.
Thank you so much, and yeah, if you're ever in the town again, then be sure to pop by. You've always got a hearty meal and a warm welcome with me. You're like an invisible ninja at the moment. Nobody can see you at all. You could blend in with the trees.
Rowland, where's Rowland?
Alan, was that you making that noise?
Do I hear anything? Like, from the noise, do I hear anything?
Roll a perception check. Yes. What you heard is sounds of people. Heard the sounds of sort of bows and arrows sort of being taken out of a quiver, but the noises seem to be sort of going away from you now. Nowhere. This gigantic sort of thing hits them. They don't know where it's come from, but it seems to be all around them. They all the tents kind of get blown over, and the cart that was there gets kind of ripped apart. The stones that are around the camp kind of blow up into little bits, and they all sort of duck. Some of them have taken some serious damage from this, and they have no idea where it's coming from.
That's our cue.
They suddenly look around and say, "Look lively, somebody's attacking us!" And they can...
Yep. Giving me another additional action.
So at the same time as this guy was kind of getting blasted away with the Eldritch Blast, he sees you charging out at him and says, "No, he's over here!"
Up. So halberd slash at his feet. Give me. I'm going to use a trip attack to try and knock him prone. Well, first stab. He I just hit him, and he sort of turns around to try and keep an eye on me as well, but it's only just in time to see the blade coming right for his head, and he opens his mouth and it just disappears down his and then just quick shake of the blade, and his head topples away.
His head rolls on the ground, and I presume Shadow kind of gets hold of it and starts chewing on it.
Yep.
Giving the orders, he does find a small purse, and it only seems to contain 10 gold pieces and a small sort of potion which looks like a potion of greater healing. You've seen these before.
10 gold?
And a potion of greater healing, but as you kind of look a little bit further into the pockets, you find as well a sort of piece of paper that when you unfold it, it looks like some sort of map of some description. It says at the top of it, entrance to Grauestron via the Thieves' Road.
Zazu finds that. I'm not sure he'd share it, so Danny will have to decide that.
I think
I'll make a note for him that he knows he has it.
You get to Grauestron, and seems to be increased of guard activity outside the city, and you hear somebody say, "Stop! I want to check what your business here in the city is." It seems to be
I
a couple of
take out my
guards.
adventurer's card.
So do
Yeah.
I. Making a delivery.
A
What's
delivery
with
of
all
what?
the increased security there, bud?
The latest fashions, if you'll believe.
Okay.
Or
So
fashions, of course.
what, your couriers?
No.
Nope.
Torex,
Just doing a job.
employees of Torex Transferring Agency. Boss wanted fancy clothes.
Oh.
We up
Who
to
happen to
it.
currently be employed with a task that is, by certain definitions, courier work, but we're not couriers ourselves.
If you actually want to have something delivered, who better to hire than us? I mean, doesn't matter
Yeah,
what
dangerous
kind
roads
of.
out there.
I mean, roads are infested with bandits. Fine, you send
Yes,
us.
they are bandits. We've been looking for a few.
Oh,
Really?
maybe, and I give a few descriptions of the guys we fought just now.
I'm just going to answer the question. The increased security. Yes, there was an attack here in town last night. Some skeletons came out of nowhere and started attacking townsfolk. There was one person who died before the guard managed to bring them down, so we've increased security around. Now, what was the description of those people you were talking about?
I launched into the description of the head honcho and one other.
Okay. Let me go and check our wanted posters. And he goes inside to his little hut. There's quite a few guards around at the moment. And he's in earshot with other ones, and he pulls out a book and he starts skimming through it.
While they're turned away, I want to take the opportunity to bury this bottle of illegal booze a lot deeper in my pack than
Okay.
they would likely to be able to tell at a glance.
Mm-hmm.
At least attempt to conceal it somehow.
Roll a sleight of hand while you're doing that, just to check no one's. I think with advantage because they're not really looking at you while they're doing this.
20.
Yeah, you've managed to hide it quite well. It'd take quite a bit of searching for them to be able to find it. So he comes away from his book, and he goes, "Well, I may have something here." And he whistles in the direction, and a few more guards appear. Far too many for you to sensibly take on at the moment. And he says, "Yes, well, thank you for coming to me with this one." And he puts his hand on Ilian's shoulder and says, "I believe this is you." He shows you a picture of something that looks like you. You are wanted. You are wanted for stealing equipment and clothes from a very rich merchant's family. Someone who was studying here in the town. What have you got to say for yourself?
I have to say Eldritch Blast. No.
Oh God.
No. Let's see how I do this.
I think from your silence,
I
think you're going to have to come with me.
This is me thinking out of character, not in character. I want to know. I will
Clock's
have
ticking. Clock's ticking.
Yeah, shut your
Well,
face.
maybe
I'm
Ella just
helping.
doesn't remember what they're talking about, and that's a valid response.
Yeah, I want to
Tick, tick.
persuade him that I am completely blameless. So I'm just going to act completely shocked, appalled at this very accusation, and mention that it's been a long-standing practice of the these upper class toffs in this city that they will just pin any sort of misfortune on any random beggar who happens to cross their paths, just for the sake of seeming like justice is being done, and then launch into this tirade about how this is a symptom of corruption and blah, 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 that kind of stuff.
Okay, well, I certainly do understand what you mean about these toffs. They're not exactly my favourite people either, but roll a persuasion check, please.
Yes, come on. Oh, it's just have inspiration. Fuck. Big money. Yes!
Oh, nice one.
What was your natural roll on that? 19. Ooh. I think I'm going to give you the benefit of a doubt for the moment, but we are going to be watching you.
Right. Well, talking about, actual bandits, we came across a few.
Yeah, so you said.
Yeah, so is there actually a reward? Because then we are going right back. Because I assume we'll need some proof.
I think you'd have to talk to any of the merchants that have been... we haven't got a reward here, but maybe some of the merchants in town would.
Will they be expecting heads or anything like that? Or will they take it for our word? I don't imagine they would. But
I've really no idea. He's still eyeing you up and down at this moment.
Right, well, if you could point us in the right direction of some of the people that have suffered depredations from these foul ruffians, then...
Come over
we'll be
here.
on the way.
What are you doing? And they see his boss talking to him, who says, well, this... he really doesn't seem to think this has anything to do with it. That's clearly his picture. Yeah, but I trust the guy. He seems straight up to me. I don't care whether you trust
I
the
want to
guy or
sneak
not.
off into town while they're distracted. Just to,
I don't
sneak
care
past
if you trust him or not. Roll for a stealth very quickly.
them. Please, yes. What a love.
You're gonna have to be lucky to get away with this one. Oh my god! No,
Yo!
I think you better take him in for questioning. Where's he gone? Where's your friend gone? Where's he gone?
Who?
Ooh!
The guy who was just with you just then.
I look
There's
around.
only-
I look around and not again. Oh, great. It's gonna be days before we see him.
Can I just have a look at your IDs again?
Yeah, sure. And I hold it up.
Rylan, what you doing?
Yep, I'll hold it up.
And Zazu?
Yeah, he's not an employee, right?
Ooh.
No, he's not an employee, is he? Well, I think you better come with me, and you two, I want you to go back to your employer there and find your friend and tell him that we need him to come in and talk to us.
I don't know what Sasu would do.
And you
say.
with... No, neither do I. I think we're going to have to end it there.
Yeah. I'd say it's pretty late here as well.
Mhm.
And honestly, I
So
was already feeling a bit tired before we started, so...
at the moment, they've kind of, because of Ilian's actions, they don't really trust the guy in the mask. And they're
Fair enough.
And they're kind of saying, well, you can stay with us until we sort out this mess. You better go and get your friend. Otherwise, there's going to be trouble for the lot of you. We know who you are. And we shall end.